Fooray and Chamba, the two hosts. If I may, I'm thinking that you chose the best thing. If you like them nerd shows and all of these movies. What up, Chipper Chap? This is Chipper Chap Chat.
What up, Chipper Chaps? This is Chipper Chap Chat, episode 166. I am Fooray.
I'm Chamba.
We're talking about some nerdy stuff today, and this week's nerdy stuff is mostly Disney Plus related, or at least Disney related.
Yeah, it is oddly Disney week. It's a fairly quiet week, which is kind of good, but yeah.
Right.
We'll start off with the first one being Guy Ritchie is, I guess he's been, like, they've said that he's going to direct the live-action Hercules.
Right, which he already did Aladdin.
Correct.
So which I guess he's
it was a hit for
their
him.
guy now. Yeah, it did well. I don't know. This one is I was less attached to Hercules than I was to Aladdin as a kid.
Okay, I love Hercules.
However, I feel like the Hercules works better as a live action than Aladdin, and just in theory of
Right.
how it should work. And this is one where they don't have to worry about like, oh fuck, it's going to be hard to cast everyone, because I highly doubt they're going to be like, make everyone Greek.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, that dude, you know there's going to be obviously this is based on fantasy.
Yeah.
So you'll have everyone of different races represented in this film still.
For sure.
Yeah, which whatever. It's a movie. It's a fantasy movie. Like, I'm wondering with this one, I feel like they really should just like camp it up.
Right.
Like, really make it theatrical. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think because they have to go big, like this was people with powers and shit. I am very curious how they'll. I mean, Guy Ritchie can do action. I just, not really sure what his version of like super powered action looks like.
It'd be cool. I'm curious though. I'm curious. I mean, like, this film's gonna have, again, on this image, you've got Pegasus, you've got a horse with wings. It's kind of comical. You've got the little satyr, Danny DeVito, which you should just cast Danny DeVito.
I mean, if it's still just a voice role, then sure. I feel like you can't have him in goat legs and shit an old guy.
They'll CG the goat legs. You know it.
I hope it's not like the Aladdin style where they try and make it really look like Danny DeVito or something.
No, as in, like, it'll just be the upper torso of Danny DeVito, and they just CG'd his legs, goat's legs, but like realistic goat legs.
No.
All right, who would you like? All right, out of the top of your head, based on the image that you're seeing right now, even, or I don't know if you've seen Hercules at all. If you have any memory.
I have,
of it.
yeah.
Okay.
I saw it in the theater, but
okay, wicked. I loved it. Based on just that alone, who could you see that they could cast in this?
The only casting that came immediately to my head was Cumberbatch as Hades.
Ooh, that's too good.
But that's the only thing that like immediately came to my brain.
Oh my, that is good.
Because I can't imagine they're gonna get James Woods again.
No, you don't need
and
him.
Cumberbatch could like really stretch at like a comedic muscle there.
Absolutely. Plus, he's got like, you might not even have to, like, prosthetically on his face. He's got he's got the look there.
He's already got that angular, cheekbones and stuff.
That is great.
But I don't know who you'd cast as Hercules. Like,
Hercules might be tough.
You'd have to keep the Hemsworths away from this because it's too close.
It's too close.
I mean, they literally might have Hercules in the new Thor. So.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So you'd have to you'd want to stay fairly far, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. But I don't know who you'd get.
Yeah,
I really don't.
Honestly, I can't think of anybody either, really. I know that because it's a musical, it is a musical. And I think seeing as Aladdin was, they kept it a musical, I'm assuming that they'll do the same with this. Even though,
I mean, they didn't with
Mulan.
What was it, Mulan before that?
No, they didn't.
And I could imagine them doing with this like they did with Mulan.
Oh,
I could
really?
imagine it. I don't think
Oh,
that they should,
I don't think they
but I
should
could see
either.
them trying to do it more serious.
Yeah.
Because, like, especially if Guy Ritchie's like, okay, I'll do it again, but I don't want to do a musical this time. Let me do something cool, like my King Arthur or something like that.
I like King
Um,
Arthur. So,
I haven't seen it, but I
dude,
have heard good
dude, you
things.
should check it out, dude.
I think
It's
I
not
will.
amazing.
I like
It's
it.
fun though.
Right. That's all you need sometimes.
And really, that's why I was like, "Oh, this is cool." Like, no spoiler, it's the action scenes are handled real fun. I mean, people go, "It's like a video game." And I'm like, "Okay, is that
Mm,
supposed to be a negative?" Because video games are
right.
like
Well,
super popular and good these days. So,
right.
how is that a negative? I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not. I'll have to check it out. I don't know the other characters on this image well enough. Like the
Okay.
two imp dudes, those are like Hades's
Yeah, yeah.
henchmen, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, I don't remember their personalities well enough. Like
Okay.
I remember as a kid thinking that the purple one looked like a demon version of the clock from Beauty and the Beast.
Oh, that's hilarious.
But
Yeah.
but I don't know like the chick enough.
Okay.
What is her character?
Megara, she's got like an attitude. Like she's like in
Okay.
no no, as in this world where, everyone
Right.
fawns over Hercules, she's kind of like
Mm-hmm.
jaded more so. She's
Okay.
cynical. She's cynical.
Right.
So, yeah, she's a good
Gotcha.
character. I'm gonna like yeah, if as this progresses further, I'm gonna definitely be if there's news, I'm gonna talk about it here because I'm curious to see what they do with this.
In the Hercules story, though,
Yes.
isn't it like a coming of age thing? Like he's like super young.
He starts off young. Obviously, he starts off as a kid because it's the whole. They show his backstory as a kid because he gets like stolen from his parents, and then they were
Okay, but
supposed to.
and when he's Hercules Prime, he's not still supposed to be super young. So
No,
I
no,
thought the
he's
whole
supposed to
thing
be
was
like. There was like they made a series actually where it's young teenager, and you see that form in the film. But
right.
when you see him
Mm-hmm.
primarily like in this form here, he's supposed to be, I think, like either late teens or early 20s.
Okay,
Yeah, like he's supposed like she's older than he is, like by a few years.
that yes, that makes sense. Right,
Yeah,
right, right.
because she's experienced. Like that's why she's more cynical. She's lived life, whereas he's kind of still innocent, really.
And does the Pegasus talk or no?
No, no, thank
Okay,
goodness, thank
I don't
goodness,
remember.
thank
All right.
goodness. But yeah,
Well, that should be interesting, and
yeah,
to see that character in live action,
mm-hmm.
the Pegasus specifically, to see how they make that work.
Right, right.
They've been doing it in the Thor movies now. We've seen the Valkyries
That's
on them,
true.
but never as
That's
like a
true.
full character.
That's true. I mean, they also did it in the Clash of the Titans films. They had like the Black
I
Pegasus.
never saw the second one.
Okay, they were both pretty good. I mean, again, it's just they're not amazing, but they're also just fun.
Right, just adventure
Yeah,
flick.
it's like it's people are like, yeah, it was nothing, and I'm like, but it was entertaining. It doesn't need to
Right,
be more than just that sometimes. But yeah, I'm definitely like, if there's more news, I'll definitely bring it up. If there's anything worth talking
right.
about. Next thing is another Marvel. This time also Disney, but Marvel this time. Uh, Milan Ray from
Uh-huh,
the show The Wonder Years, the current one, the reboot
uh-huh,
Wonder Years.
uh-huh. Yeah.
She's joined the cast of Blade. Reportedly, she's going to be
Oh,
playing.
I love this. I love this image of Blade.
Yeah,
So good.
it's great. It's great. I just found it online. I'm like, hey, this one works.
Yeah.
This works. Yeah, she's reportedly playing Blade's daughter, Fallon Gray.
Okay. So in the comics, they've been pushing Blade's daughter for a while.
Okay.
There was even a rumor earlier when they were keeping the Wesley Snipes thing, and they weren't sure if they were going to have him be Wesley Snipes in the MCU. There's a lot of rumors that they could do something with his daughter because she was being pushed in the books. This would be going very young, in my opinion, for them to be like, and now she's leading the franchise.
Yeah.
However, though, uh, the guy Mahershala Ali is like what he's in his 50s or something at this point, right?
Something like that.
He's definitely up there. I feel like he's pretty close in age to Wesley Snipes. I
That's
mean,
why,
not
yeah, I found
the
it
same
weird.
age, but
Right. That's why I was like, huh? You cast him, which is great. He's a great actor,
right.
but he's also not a spring chicken.
No, not at all. But that's why it makes
He's
sense to me if you're
48.
gonna
He's
cast his
48.
daughter. Okay, he's 48.
Yeah, he's 48.
Well, I mean, yeah, if you're gonna cast his daughter, then I guess she can age into it, or you can have like a vampire on the like Young Avengers or some shit like this.
They could also age like yeah, it'd be weird for them to cast this girl and then all of a sudden in the film they age her up because she's a vampire. So who
Right, but
knows?
they won't have to
Yeah.
if it's a thing like him where he's a half vampire. If he's
Right.
got a kid, that's on she's a quarter of a vampire
Right.
or
Right.
whatever.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Then maybe she can just age up in real time, and if they cast someone who's maybe 13 or 14 now, and they got Young Avengers movies coming down the pike, it kind of makes sense.
That's true. That's true. I am curious to see what this story is even gonna be.
Yeah, I'm also curious. I mean, luckily or unluckily, I guess I don't know too much about Blade's daughter. I haven't really read any of the books that featured her. I just know that she became a thing.
She's 14, by the way.
Oh, hey, good guess.
Yeah. I
So I don't know. Could be something.
yeah.
I was rewatching Luke Cage recently, and just seeing Mahershala in that as Cottonmouth, I'm like,
He's good.
yeah, he's up there in age. He's very good. He's
Yeah.
very good. So I'm looking forward to seeing whatever he does. But he's not a young dude.
Yeah. He ain't young.
But he would have been a waste just as that Luke Cage character. He
Exactly.
really would have been a waste.
Exactly.
So I don't know. Makes sense to me. They've already broken that line and said we can kind of cast where we want.
Yeah.
Because Alfre Woodard's also in Luke Cage and also in Infinity War.
Yeah. I think so. Yeah.
Maybe so.
But yeah,
Yeah.
I wonder where the character of just Blade in general is gonna fit within this MCU right now.
Me too. I guess the only tease we got was that little bit in Eternals where he's like, "Hey, don't touch that
Yep.
sword. Are you not ready for that,
Even
Dewey
though,
Cox? You don't
yeah,
want no parts of this."
yeah, even though I'm like, even though people were like, "Who was that?" Like
Right.
he doesn't have like a recognizable voice like that.
I'm
Like
also
like
very curious
if you heard
still.
James L. Jones, you know that's James
Right.
L.
True.
Jones. You know what I mean?
Right. And yeah, it makes me wonder still if that sword that they teased is going to be the sword
Mm,
we see in Thor, if it's going
yeah,
to be something else.
yeah. Thor, man, it's next week.
I know. I didn't buy tickets yet. I'm a fail.
How are you a Marvel fan?
Bro, it's just I don't kick it with the right people that are trying to go
Yeah,
immediately anymore.
nah, man. All right.
But yeah, I'm gonna look it up.
Yeah.
What do we got next?
Next up, I mean, we got like again, it's a light week, so we're going right into Obi-Wan Kenobi final episode
Okay.
spoiler discussion.
So uh they wrapped it all up.
They did.
Uh
What'd you think of the episode? What happened in the episode? They fought. He got the
the
girl. He got
Ice
Leia.
Cube,
Ice Cube did his
yeah,
thing.
got yeah, he did his job, got laid back.
Yep.
Uh yeah, I don't know. I feel like this episode had some cool stuff in it, and and also had some confusing stuff in it. I feel like it's still. I loved watching the fight happen between Obi-Wan and Vader. Although I felt like at some point they started doing some wild shit, and I was like, is this a thing? Is this
Yeah, do you mean
can they do that?"
all the rocks, all the floating rocks that you throw?
Yeah,
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 I
the
knew that's what
fucking
you're
like
referring to.
machine of rocks. I was like,
Yeah,
This is cool, but is that a thing already? Can
I
anybody do
dude,
that?"
I was like, this is very Mob Psycho / One Punch Man, where you got the
Right.
throwing just levitating rocks, just throwing it. It's
I
Star Wars.
almost feel like they should have reversed who did what there, like because they had Vader like topple over some rocks onto
Yep.
Obi-Wan,
Yeah.
and I feel like that would have made more sense if Obi-Wan did
Yeah.
that to Vader out of like desperation of
Yes.
like keep this fucker down,
Yeah.
and then
But
Vader can be like, no, I'm sick with the
yeah,
Force, bro. Here's all
exactly.
these fucking rocks.
I'm gonna fling a bunch of rocks to you, and
Right,
I'm gonna crack the ground, and you're gonna fall in. Um,
right.
this episode, I gotta say,
I
go.
loved the cut through the mask
Oh yeah, that was sick.
and hear both voices kind
Yeah.
of changing into each other. That was dope.
Yeah.
All the dialogue with him when during that was dope.
Yeah.
I believed all the scenes of
Yeah.
him, creepily smiling through the fucking opening in the helmet.
Yep. I'm like,
And I heard that they kind of redid this from something that they did in the animation, which is cool because I don't watch the animated
hmm
stuff, so
but now it's proper
this was
canon.
new to me. Right.
Yep. The the
But
the
yeah, I like that.
the line where he's like, don't worry, you didn't kill Anakin. I did.
Right. Right.
It was like, oh,
Yeah, I liked the that in theory,
yeah,
but also he's so salty. He's
yeah.
so salty
Oh, dude,
that if he is at peace with that, then
no,
like why does he even
because
care?
he just is.
Yeah.
He's so petty.
Mm-hmm.
Seeing this
Um.
episode, I gotta say,
Yeah.
I like the character of Reva, but I felt like she kind of didn't even need to be part of the show. Because she didn't really have a conclusion when you think about it. Like,
Right. Yeah. I kind of feel like Obi-Wan should have had to fight her to the death.
right, because,
Like her conviction should have been so strong. She was going to do this no
right.
matter what, and the only way to end it was to kill her.
But that's the part that weirded me out, because I'm like, all right, something's got to obviously happen with her. Unless, like, they have greater plans for that character and she's going to appear in something else. And if that's the
Right.
case, okay, that makes more sense. But in this series by itself, if we're just going to take it in this series,
Yeah.
what was her real purpose in the show? We were following somebody
Just to
new.
lose her job and get
Yeah,
stabbed a couple
right. And
times.
in the end, realize, oh, you're not him, by the way. Because she's like, am I turning it? It's like, nah, nah. Like, everyone's just
You'll
like,
be
nah, nah,
fine.
nah, nah, you're not. You're good. Get up. We're good.
I feel like, honestly, if twas I her, if I survived second lightsaber stabbing, I'm just going off and doing my own shit.
Yeah.
I don't even have to go to Luke and
No, no,
like
no.
feign like I'm gonna kill this kid.
That's the
Just
part.
leave. You're like,
Exactly.
holy shit, I survived this twice.
Exactly. That's the part that I was like, because if that was her end in the previous episode, where she was like,
Yeah.
I'm alive, I'm free from
Mm-hmm.
this. Like, I can't
Mm-hmm.
defeat him, but I'm also
Right.
I'm not bound to this.
Right.
I can
Yeah,
just
makes
leave.
sense.
Whereas here it's like,
Yeah.
oh, there's actually a little kid that I gotta kill. I wanna
Yeah.
go.
That part seems
Also,
extra.
the parts that are weirding me out more is she's like super quick in the tunnel. She got
Mm-hmm.
from one end to the other with magic. I don't know how. And now she got from the planet onto the sand planet
Right.
quicker than anybody.
Yeah,
How?
she's really good at getting it. She's got that
Can
instant
she
transmission.
Yeah,
bro.
can she teleport? That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
Do you think there's gonna be another season after this?
Part of me says I hope not because it already is confusing on how this shit's supposed to fit in with everything else.
Yeah.
But part of me thinks I hope so because that's the only way I could imagine rectifying, bringing everybody back
Yeah.
is, well, obviously this is going to be like an ongoing thing or something
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
But right now, I just like it was kind of a cool experiment to be like, look, see if we can do a series inside of this tiny time frame.
Uh-huh.
But I don't know, it just
See,
seemed a little superfluous.
you say tiny time frame, but it's supposed to be what, 10 years? More even.
Yeah, but they didn't explore the 10
That's what
years.
I
They
mean. Like
just
that would have that would
right.
if not for this series, it could have been a big time frame.
Yeah, I really feel like it might have benefited more from having
Mm.
like some jumps in time.
Yep.
Um, but yeah, I don't know. Even them like hinting or like being like, we want to do something with Qui-Gon, and then they like stretched that out as far as they could to have him just show up at the end and be like, "Hey, here I
Yeah,
am.
it's like I've been here this
Let's
whole
go into
time, but
this
you weren't
canyon."
ready to see me.
Right, and then that's kind of how he already ended his story in the prequels. It's like
Hmm.
I'm gonna go on the sand planet and train with Qui-Gon's ghost.
But then now he's gonna
So
actually train
really,
with it.
so he waited a grip. He
Yeah,
waited like however old these kids are supposed to
10
be, like
years.
7 years or
Yeah,
yeah, 10 years. He already waited 10 years.
yeah,
He's got to wait another 10 years. I
yep.
don't know, but yeah, I mean, it was cool to me for really the reason to do this was just to give Hayden another swing.
And he swung, man.
And yeah, he got another swing. He
Hmm.
did some cool stuff.
He did.
And, if they've figured out a way to have him continue to play the character, but just have it sound like James Earl Jones, I haven't seen, like, now that the show's out, maybe they'll put the, like, assembled or what,
Oh
gallery
yeah,
or whatever they
yeah.
do for the Star Wars. Because I would love to see
Oh, dude,
just the technical parts of how they
mate,
made that work.
mate. I'm telling you, that's you know they'll do it because they've done it for the other ones. But I'm looking forward to that
Right.
one. I'm looking
Yeah, I
forward
mean,
to
it
that
should be
one.
this coming week now that the
Right,
show's over, right?
right. And
Um,
this is not this dude. It's not going to be the end for Hayden because they're doing the Ahsoka show, so he's gonna appear there.
true.
He's gonna appear
Yeah.
there.
But I would assume also still as Vader.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they could always still do the flashback thing too, because that would actually be neat.
True.
Because remember, that's like something we'd never seen in live action ever.
True. I mean, it was honestly kind of weird even just to see flashbacks because I
Yeah.
feel like Star Wars doesn't do flashbacks
Right.
anymore.
Well, it's the new age of Star Wars.
Yeah.
It's the new age of Star
All right.
Wars.
What's up? What else we got?
The last thing we got is the spoiler discussion for episode 3 of Ms. Marvel.
Okay, so this show continues to be enjoyable to watch.
Yep, agreed.
However, they are now starting to make me ask questions about things I know about the Marvel comic books.
Yes. They're changing
And
stuff, aren't they?
so potentially at
Yeah.
least
Yeah.
because they've now included the Jinn,
Yep.
which are not a part of uh,
Ms.
Kamala's
Marvel.
story
Yep.
traditionally.
Right.
They also implied some sort of connection between the Jinn and the Ten Rings
Mm-hmm. Yep. That scene.
because they're exploring a cave and the
Mm-hmm.
whole like floor of the cave is the Ten Rings logo.
But then they took that
And
the
also,
one wristband off of like a blue skin dude.
right, like, which I wasn't sure if they were implying this is another Jinn and we've
Right.
taken it from him, or this is a like a Kree
Yeah.
alien and we've took it off of him. Because the Kree alien thing makes sense to me
Yeah.
with the rest of like Kamala's story.
Yeah.
If you're gonna hint at all that she is an Inhuman, then it makes sense to involve the Kree. It
Could
makes
the
sense to have the Kree be the people who had that wristband before.
could the people of the other world just be telling her that as far as like who's to say they're being
That's what I'm wondering.
yeah, who's to say they're being completely honest with her?
The only reason that I would think that they are is because of the limited amount of episodes. Do they have time for a bait and switch?
That's
If you're
true.
introducing new lore, do you have time to be like, oh, psych, it's actually this other lore? But I
Well,
don't. But who knows?
I mean, the next episode, like, obvious, you know how they saw the train, the vision of the train, and the grandma's like, "You saw
Yeah.
that, right? Like,
Hmm.
you guys gotta come here.
Yeah.
We gotta talk about this stuff." I'm
Yeah.
curious
So
where this episode's going. This next one.
Yeah, same. I mean, they've got me on board. I
Yeah.
wonder how many episodes of this season there are because everything's been like 6 episodes
Right.
lately.
You think
Um,
they could wrap it up in a sixer, or you think an eight would be better?
I feel like an eight would be better.
Yeah, I'm with you there.
An eight would be better, and I kind of, even though everybody always said it was too many, I miss the like Netflix 10.
Oh yeah, but see, 10 people go 10 is too many. I'm like, no, no. If you do 10 great episodes, because sometimes a breather episode is good.
Right,
Where you get to know the characters a little bit more as opposed to this them rushing around, and then you're getting to know them as they're
right.
rushing around. Like a
Just
bit
don't let it feel like filler. Have like
exactly.
put those story beats to use.
Exactly. Like utilize it. Don't
Um,
just yeah, exactly. Don't let it be a filler, but utilize those extra.
yeah,
I don't know how many episodes
yeah.
this is gonna
So
be.
we'll
Um,
see. Hopefully, I think it might be eight, just because I remember hearing that these one were going to be shorter episodes.
okay.
But I don't know if they have been so far. I think the first couple episodes were under an hour, but not by much.
They've been. Let me see. They've been. Ooh, actually no. Episode 1 was 50 minutes, but then again, it's listed as 50 minutes, but then the credits go for like 8 minutes,
Right.
like something like that. Second one
Hmm.
was 52. Third was 48. It was cool seeing some of the powers, the fight in the wedding. After the
Hmm.
wedding, like seeing the other Jinn in quotes use their abilities and stuff.
Yeah. But it seemed like most of their abilities were weapon based.
Yes, exactly. I think she's more powerful,
Uh,
obviously, than all of them. Really, like I feel like
right.
I feel like her great grandma was something else.
That makes me wonder if she was maybe one of the Kree that had, these blue people. Because
Right,
I don't know. So far, the Jin being like they even made some like super deep cuts call. I think they called them the clandestine, which like
right.
are a team of Marvel characters,
I
but they're
remember them.
fucking like random,
Yep,
and nobody ever gave a shit.
exactly. So that's what
Um,
it was a weird Easter egg at that point. I'm like, okay, that's odd. Because I remember the
but that's why
clandestine
I
as
wondered
well.
too if it's a bait and switch
Yeah.
like you were suggesting, because that's the only thing I'm like, okay, maybe it's a reference to that, but maybe it's just to be like, here's something to look up, nerds, while we like
Mm-hmm.
hide what it actually is over
Yeah.
here.
Or it's actually in plain
Um,
sight, but you guys are too busy looking up stuff that that
right.
we said because we said something and you're not sure.
And so we've got at least, I guess there was 3 episodes that just happened.
Mm-hmm.
So at very least we got 3 more of this. That's
Yep.
3 weeks going forward.
I think they
If
could
it's
wrap it
eight
up.
to me, I think if it's 8 to me, I think makes a little bit more sense scheduling wise, because then that would go right up into August when they start She-Hulk.
Right. Right. Dude, we're getting so
Um,
much.
yeah, and I don't know what's. I think it was supposed to be Black Panther at the end of the year, so I don't know if that
Yeah.
one's still happening or
I don't
not. But
either. I don't either.
hopefully we hear something soon.
Yeah.
But so far so good on this. I hope it ends up being not a disappointment at the end. I know some of these Marvel series tend to like fumble the ball, I guess, right at
Mm-hmm.
the finish line. But I don't know. I'm hopeful still, just because I like the energy of this one
I
so much.
do. Like, it's been a really. It's crazy because the previous series we got before Ms. Marvel was Moon Knight, and that one feels like a completely different show.
Right, and I really liked
I
Moon
liked it
Knight,
too. Yeah.
but Moon Knight was also like emotionally heavy,
Oh
like especially
yes.
towards the end.
Oh yes.
You're dealing with a lot,
Oh yeah.
and so it makes me even more want something like this out at the same time ish, where the energy balance is so far the other
Yeah.
way.
Although
Like
I,
you're
I I
just
feel like this can get pretty emotional because of the family aspect of things.
for sure, but it's not like
Oh, in your face,
your
emotional.
mom
Yeah.
tells you the
Yeah.
wrong kid died,
Right.
Dewey
Yeah.
Cox.
Yeah.
That's another
Yeah.
fucking Dewey Cox reference this episode. Um,
Oh. But yeah,
so, so yeah,
it's great. I'm liking it. Is there any information how long this season's gonna go for?
I remember the only information I heard about it early on was that it was going to be like 20 episodes, and I feel like there's no way that's true. But
20
I heard
is
early on, yeah, that it was supposed to be
ridiculous.
because they said it was going to be short, like 20-minute episodes.
Oh, would you have preferred that?
But that ended up not being the case. I don't know if I would have. Probably not. I mean, WandaVision that started out as I think the first episode's only 20 minutes or something, but
Yeah,
that's because of the sitcom format.
that's true.
Um,
That's true.
so yeah, I don't know. Hopefully they have just enough episodes to wrap everything
Okay,
up
it's 6
nicely.
episodes. I just
Oh, really?
it's
So they
listed as
got to get
6.
to her suit and shit real quick. 'Cause they just gave it to her in the last episode, it seemed like.
Yeah. Who made it? Like her buddy made it?
It seemed like it because he gave her like a gift and she found the mask inside of it. But why he did, no fucking clue. And how he got immediately from I made you like a leather painted up version of your Captain Marvel character to
Yep.
now I've designed this thing specifically for you.
You got a whole suit.
Yeah. But he is off to MIT or whatever the fuck. Caltech, I think they
Mm-hmm.
say.
I just looked it up. Yep, clandestine, definitely a Marvel thing.
Yeah. But super deep cuts.
Oh, deep and also
Yeah.
incredibly different looking.
Oh yeah, they're just like some random fucking
Uh-huh.
people. They don't even look like fucking anything.
No, no, no. The original ones they had like superhero costumes.
The ones I saw, they just looked like dudes. They were
Yeah,
like, you know, just dudes.
I'm looking at images right
But
now.
I don't know. We'll
But yeah,
see.
it's
Hopefully, it goes somewhere. Them calling them genies was kind of funny to me to be like, we took them. We're actually a gin culture, which some people call genies, and also we took this yellow gold bracelet off of a blue creature, and it gives you powers.
we only took one though. We only found one.
It would love the reveal of like they dug up the rest of the body, and it's like Will Smith's Aladdin genie. And they're like, yeah, we just took one of the bracers off of that thing, and now you can make powers with it.
Yeah, you ain't never had a
I
friend
don't
like
know.
me.
That the genie thing is just bizarre, but
Yeah,
we'll see how it all wraps up.
right.
Only
And
a few episodes left.
honestly, they've already done so many things in these 3 episodes. I feel like with the remaining 3, they could definitely, if written as well as these previous ones, they could wrap it up.
Mhm.
Because I mean, by wrap it
Oh
up,
yeah,
it's gonna lead to the Marvels. So
which I think comes out next year,
I think
next summer or something, next May or some shit like
so.
this.
Something like
I know it switched places with the Ant-Man movie.
did it? Right now it's
Yeah, I
listed
think the
at
Ant-Man movie got pushed up.
right now it's slated for a July 2023 release.
July.
Yeah.
Well, a whole year from now. But they're not giving us nothing to do in the meantime. We've got plenty to watch.
Oh, dude, plenty, plenty.
Oh yeah. Well, I think that wraps it up.
That does. That does. It was a quick episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we'll have another one soon because next
Yes.
episode's only in a couple days.
Exactly. And I mean, at that point, I should have been caught up to Stranger Things, and we can even talk about that.
Yep, there we go.
We
And
can
we'll
talk
have
about that
Stranger
season.
Things to talk about too.
All right.
All right. So until the next one, fellas, stay chipper chaps.
Stay chipper.
What up, Chip and Chap? This is Chip and Chap Chat.